Okay, has anybody ever picked out a puppy from like a litter, or been in a relationship, or been on a team? Well, mine's on how to prepare a cow for a show and like the whole process. And you start out by going out and picking out a cow, and they're all like, puppies are all like, oh, they're so cute and looking at you, and then there's a cow and there's like 30 of them, and they're like 600 pounds and staring at you like, the last time I saw you, you castrated me, and I'm hoping that they don't want those back. And so you're picking out like the flattest back and the biggest butt and the nicest looking face, like prettiest face. And then you pick it out and you take him home, and he still really hates you. So you have to go and sit in the pasture with the cow in like a small area so that he gets used to just being around humans. And you sit in there with feed, hoping he like comes to you or like acknowledges you at all. And you talk to him. And that's how I thought that it was kind of like being in a relationship, because you start out as talking, and you're just kind of like scared of them and stuff. And you're really scared of this cow, thinking he might come after you. So you just sit in there bravely, like give them a little bit of food, and then they slowly walk to you. And at that point, you get them in a chute, and you try to bathe them, and they go absolutely psycho and like kick out of the chute and everything. And I'll show you a picture of what a chute is and how you lock them up so they don't hurt you. And then you get a halter on them, and once you get the halter on, you can just let them roam free so they get used to like pulling on their head with the halter. And you let them free in the pasture, and you keep feeding them and talking to them. And then once they're broke with the halter and they're like used to having it on their head, usually you have it on them for like 3 or 4 days. And then you get them back in the chute, and I don't leave them to where you tie them up. We usually just like herd them to where you tie them up at, to like the gate. And you tie them up with their head like locked around the fence post. And they stay there for like 3 more days. And you just reward them by like petting them and talking to them, and then you give them feed and water and like hay. So it's grain, hay, and water, but you only give them water like once or twice a day, because water is like a reward for them because they need water. So when they have water and you give it to them, they think you're a good person. And so then after you can break them with that, and at the first day when you tie them up, they go absolutely nuts, and you think they're going to rip off the post that they're tied to, because they don't like having their head pulled on or like tied up, just like we wouldn't want that. And by the time after they've been tied up for 3 days, then you try to walk them to your water. And my cow this year, when I was walking to the water, he just like kept ramming me into the side of the gate, but as I was walking to the water. And then, but once you do it like 1 or 2 times, they get used to it. They get used to it and know that they're doing it so they can get water, so it's a good thing. And after that, they're basically broke. And I let them free in like the smaller pasture, so I can still catch them, but they still have a halter on, so they don't run away from you when you try to catch them. And then you take the halter off, so then you can walk up to them and catch them and put the halter on, and they're like completely fine with you being around them, and relationship is good, I guess. Okay, that's how to break a cow. And then the showtime comes, or that just every day comes, and you water them, you feed them, you keep water. I don't water them, take water out to them every day. I just keep water in their bucket. And I feed grain every day, twice a day. I do 3% of their feed, and you have to brush them every single day and give them a bath. During show season, summer is different than winter. Winter, you just feed them, keep them happy, And then during show season, they're in the freezer before it gets bright out, before the sun comes out, and you let them back out on pasture when the sun goes down. So basically like 8 o'clock at night to 11 you're out with them, and 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock you're bathing them, washing them, brushing, and just trying to grow hair, because a good fluffy cow is what you want for show. And then show day comes, and you do everything that you've been doing all summer. You feed them, you water them to the extreme, you want them real fat, and then ready for show, just wash. Okay, this is my PowerPoint. This is the cow staring at you when you're going to pick them out. That's when we take them home. That's actually my cow. That's the chute I was talking about. It locks their head in their side so they can't like kick you or kill you. That's the halter you put around them and feeding them and talking to them. That's the day of the show, and just every day you just practice with them, set their feet for the show, because you have to have them looking square, but you don't have their feet square, you have one foot in front of the other so their bottom looks bigger. And then you blow dry them at the show so their hair is super fluffy, and that's another chute. You always keep them in a chute when you wash them. And you blow dry them after you get done cleaning them, and it makes their hair just fluffy as when a normal human does their hair, blow dries their hair. And that's at the show. Oh, and that's this. At the end of the year is basically the worst time of the year. It's after you spend all your time with them for about a year, and then just like a teammate, it's really sad at the end of the season. But you could have your teammate for dinner the next week, so that's wow.